Mayweather, or Romero? Who should Pacquiao choose for 2026? The new year is now just around the corner. While Filipino combat sports fans are celebrating the year that was, there's a huge reason to fast forward the clock to 2026. Manny Pacquiao potentially returning to the ring. In mid-October, it was reported by Mike Coppinger of Ring Magazine via X/Twitter that a rematch between Pacquiao and the still undefeated Floyd Mayweather is being explored as a potential Netflix boxing event. Around that same period, the only 8-division champion in boxing history revealed during the pre-fight press conference for Thrilla in Manila, the 50th anniversary, that he was deep in negotiations for a title bout with WBA welterweight king Rolando "Raleigh" Romero. Both Mayweather and Romero have a case to be made as to why they deserve to go toe-to-toe with Pacquiao. But the immediate question on everyone's mind is this: who's the better option? To answer that question, we'll be looking into 2 key points. First is how Pacquiao stacks up against both men based on their fighting styles, and the other is marketability. Which fighter makes the most financial sense for Pacquiao? After that, we circle back to the main question and put together a definitive answer. Styles make fights. Pacquiao has given the boxing world plenty of reason to be excited for his 74th career bout when he stopped Father Time dead in its tracks in his wondrous 12-round showing against WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios this past July. Granted, the final decision was a majority draw that allowed the Mexican-American to retain the gold. However, many pundits and major boxing personalities were convinced that Pacquiao had thoroughly outclassed his unusually gun-shy foe. Taking that into consideration, a championship tilt with Romero should be nothing short of exciting. The Las Vegas, Nevada native is coming off his best performance, yet this past May in the form of a unanimous decision win over Ryan Garcia, which featured a second-round knockdown of the 27-year-old courtesy of a monstrous left hook for the crown he now holds. However, it should also be noted that his wide stance, heavy punches-only style cost him dearly in TKO losses to Gervonta Davis in May 2022 and Isaac Cruz in March 2024. Tank and Bulldog share a similar profile to Pacquiao, in that they are both shorter and more explosive than Romero. Given that Romero tends to leave himself open to quick counter-hits and throws his punches wide, Pacquiao will surely find himself having a whale of a time peppering the opening rounds with his patented awkward angle punches and quick combos. But the fight enters the final third. Romero's advantage in youth and overwhelming aggression could make this an interesting one. Additionally, Pacquiao has the advantage of experience on his side, with Romero having only fought in 19 bouts, while the former has 73 on his resume. This part usually gets overlooked, but the Filipino icon's advantage in experience may be the great equalizer and even fuel him to victory. As for a second chapter with Mayweather, it will surely have a similar cadence to their May 2015 mega fight. To help refresh your memories, Pacquiao, 36 at the time, entered the fight of the century with a bum right shoulder that he re-injured in the 4th round, which severely limited him. Meanwhile, Money, then 38, leaned on his Philly shell defensive style, also known as a shoulder roll, to exploit his fellow legend's all-out offense throughout all 12 rounds to take home the unanimous decision, 116-112, 116-112, 118-110 win. Though much older now, there's no telltale sign that the result would be different in a second go-around. That's despite Mayweather not fighting professional or exhibition since August 2024. But still, Pacquiao, now 47, might think he has a better chance against Mayweather, who will turn 49 in February 2026, following a phenomenal outing versus the 30-year-old Barrios. If Pacquiao truly wants to prove that the aging lion still has sharp claws and silence his critics for the nth time in his illustrious career, a showdown with the much younger Romero for the WBA welterweight crown is the way to go. The pre-fight war. Who's got the marketing/promotional edge? One of the more underrated aspects of prize fighting is for the fighter to learn how to market themselves in the lead-up to fight night. Former MMA megastars Chael Sonnen and Conor McGregor are the best examples. Along with their world-class skills inside the cage, the American Gangster and Notorious were simply electrify on the microphone to the point that fans, both hardcore and casual, wanted to shell out however much money it takes to watch them compete, regardless of their opponent. The same could be said for boxing, and Floyd Mayweather has the overwhelming advantage here. While not as enthralling or smooth on the mic as some of the most elite combat sports athletes, Mayweather's "I'm better than you," and a persona has been rubbing people the wrong way for as long as he's been a pro. Many love that about him, but just as many, if not more, despise him for it. One thing is for sure, though, if his name is on the marquee, expect the dough to come rolling in. As soon as it was rumored that he and Manny Pacquiao were gearing up for a second fight, the press was quick to capitalize on it by producing every type of article under the sun. It dominated the forums, message boards, and social media. No surprise there. Factor in that their first meeting had about 4.4 million PPV buys, equivalent to about $400 million. Plus a live gave around $72 million. And it would be fair to estimate that their second encounter draws around a similar audience. Fun fact, the split was 60-40 in favor of Mayweather's camp. So do the math there. Obviously, that's a no-brainer money fight, no pun intended. But Rolando Romero being Pacquiao's dance partner might be just as interesting to fans. Much like his contemporaries who had drawn on McGregor's brazen bravado promotional style to help secure and push their own fights, Romero has been throwing his name around as a potential dance partner for the Filipino hero for quite some time. While not as aggressive and vulgar as former Pacquiao foes like Antonio Margarito, Brandon Rios, and even the late great Ricky Hatton, just to name a few, Romero's unyielding pursuit of a Pac-Man about already has fans excited to see him eat his words. Never discount the fact that people would willingly part with their hard-earned cash to see the obnoxious loudmouth get his just desserts, whether it's real animosity or just perfectly crafted boxing marketing. Another point to consider here is that Romero is just not on the same level as Mayweather in terms of being a box office attraction. According to various sources available online, his biggest single fight purse came from the Ryan Garcia bout, $5.5 million. If he faces Pacquiao, his take-home will likely exceed that, factoring in both his hypothetical purse and PPV share. Let's be real. Mayweather-Pacquiao 2 is going to make serious bank. There's no doubt about that. The one thing going for Romero here is that he will be a fresh opponent for Pacquiao, and that may be enough to draw a huge crowd. Not as earth-shattering as the other option, but still sizable nonetheless.